As I said on the previous video, two entities came in around the same time and asked for me to speak to them. First one was my Aunt Cass, and the second one, I don't even know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it because it just sounds ridiculous to me, but the other one was Princess Diana. She came in and she said, I really want to talk. And I said, okay. I was like, there seems to be a lot going on in your country. And she said, there seems to be a lot going on in the world. And so here we go. Princess Di, thank you so much for stopping in. Yeah, she just said, thank you so much for having me. She's like seated and proper. Like she's got her ankles crossed, right? And she's like, she's holding a cup of tea. And I'm like, what's with the cup of tea? She goes, I've really missed it. I really miss tea. I'm like, okay. And cookies, I'm sure, the biscuits. She said, it's not so simple as a cup of tea and biscuits, right? It's not that simple. And so the answer to like, why now is there's so much chaos going on, and there's so much hurt, and there's so much pulling apart. And there was so much pulling apart all the time when I was alive. Even inside the royal family, there was pulling apart. There was nitpicking. There was a lot of like chatter about what is okay and what's not okay. And if you weren't okay, like, can I tell you the amount of breakfasts I got the silent treatment? I just got the silent treatment because I wasn't living up to some standard. And now they've been hiding people's secrets. And there's a rift with my children that I'm not okay with. And there's a lot of hurt going on. There's a lot of hurt. So I'm going to say, Princess Di, why are you choosing me to do this? Because you listen to us. And because I know my story won't be embellished and it won't be glorified, or I don't know the word for it. When you make something aggrandized, maybe, you make something bigger than it really needs to be. Because she's saying because I have empathy, and she's saying because I have the ability to hear and hold space for things that are challenging. Well, thank you. And do you have a message for me? Just that she wants me to keep doing this work, and that she's sort of like a test case. So once she comes through, if I handle her story well, there will be other stories that will come in after her. Sorry, I have to yawn. And apparently yawning is like a sign of spirit. So there we go. Anything else for me? She just said, I look forward to seeing you in the UK. So we'll see what happens there. And then messages for other people. I'm sure you have a number. I'm hearing her say, I want to start with Charles. I don't know if she would, okay. She's very like proper with her phrasing and her like enunciation. But then she just said, tell him to do the right thing. So Charles, do the right thing. Clean the house. Clean your house. Get your house cleaned up. She said, as Taylor Swift says, get your side of the road. Get it cleaned up. Do the right thing. Oh, and she's not saying for her sake or for the royal family's sake in the sense of like the British, right? She's like, for the sake of our son, to make his life easier. Clean up the problems before you hand them to him to have to clean up for you. And she said, I'm sick of lies, and I'm sick of lies upon lies, and I'm sick of people covering up for people's lies. Just do the right thing. That's what I'm hearing her say. Just do the right thing. And then she said, you know what that is. So I don't know how Charles would ever see this, but there you go. Prince Charles, King Charles, if you ever see this now, a deceased wife, is telling you to do the right thing. And she just laughed and said the right thing would have been never marry him. And she said, I had Wills and I had Harry, but I never would have put myself in a position to be under her and her battle axeness. She was a battle axe. Demanding, unsympathetic, unkind. And apparently she sniffed a lot, That's not okay. right? That's, yes. I never measured up with her. I was never good enough for her. And when I started to expose the world and pay attention to things and used my name to be able to show people what was really going on in certain places of the world, and like walking through landmines, right? Areas with landmines, she was really mad at me because she felt like I was exploitative. Oh, that's the term you wanted earlier, too. And that's what Queen said to you, that you were exploitative, causing a spectacle. She said I was causing a spectacle. I wasn't causing a spectacle. I was trying to bring change. I was always trying to bring change. I never wanted my boys to know what it was like. I wanted them to always know what it was like. How do I phrase this? I wanted them to always know what it was like to be in need. I didn't want them to ever become complacent and think that they got everything all the time. So I would sometimes say no to them just to say no, so that they felt a no. And the soup kitchens were not a game for me. They were an opportunity for the boys to see and love humans for humans and not be wrapped up in their own, like, posh world. I have messages for my boys. Wills, you are in an impossible position. I knew you would be when you were born, and I used to talk to you and try to give you wisdom even when I was holding you, and tell you to hold on to your center and know who you are, and be true to yourself and be true to your character. And don't let them get to you, and don't let them to shape you. Don't let them destroy your love and your joy. You are my boy, Wills. You are my boy. In a lot of ways, you're more mine than Charles's. I am so proud of the man you have become. I'm so proud of the love you have with your wife and your children, and how you try to keep them out of the limelight as much as possible, and how much you just enjoy being a member of your family, your immediate family. I'm not so sure you enjoy being a member of your extended family, right? Your dad, his Camilla. I need you to know that though the queen is responsible for my death, you will be a king who will honor the needs of those around you. You will be upright. You will not be a part of the schemes and plots and ploys of what has come before, and you will create a new era inside of England. And I really want you and Harry. I know what is being seen on the outside to everybody else, and I know what's going on the inside between you and him. And the external view that you two are not okay, and the fact that you're leaving it that way, I understand why you're doing that. But love and acceptance is the most important thing to me. And the two of you are the most important thing to me. And so a unified front, when possible, if possible, is important to me, just letting you know. And Harry, my boy, I understand feeling unimportant and insignificant. I also understand feeling like a disappointment. And I know you tried your hardest to fight the rules and expectations of all of them, especially when you felt like you weren't the most important one in the room. You never felt like you were important in the room. And I tried to make you feel important in the room, but I was taken out of the game intentionally because I didn't choose the family. I chose to do something else. I started to see other people. I started to open myself up to a new life, and that was not acceptable. That was not acceptable. You kind of got freedoms because I died the way I did. They've been allowing you to go and do and be, and you've thrown off a lot of the trappings that the royal family puts on people. But at the same point, There's a lot that has been lost. And in a lot of ways, your heart is more sensitive than Will's, and Will's heart is really sensitive. And in some ways, your heart is even more sensitive. And so I would ask for you to find a way to get back home in a sense. To make peace with what has happened. Sorry, like I said, spirit causeth the yawns. Any other messages, Di? Am I allowed to call you that? Okay. Yeah, I'm allowed to. The world feels really messed up right now, and it feels a little chaotic, and it feels a little like everything is out of control. Humanity is scared overall. And as somebody on the other side, I just want you to know there is a plan and a purpose in place. And that which is scary is bringing around a new order, one where Catherine will be just important as Will's, if not more so. There's an equality that's coming, a gentleness that's coming. And just because you can't see how we're getting there and you can't see what's going on, there's a shakeup. And that which is resting in the House of Windsor, the truth that's coming to light, the things that are being exposed, those lies can't hide and can't stay if the royal family is going to lead on the other side of the growth that's coming. She just said that Wills and Catherine are both ascending, and they're both waking up, and they're both aware of spirit, and they're becoming more aware of spirit. And so that's like kind of putting a weird shift on what's happening in the dynamic of like Prince Andrew being in so much trouble and Prince Charles possibly have been a part of a cover-up. Princess Di, do you have a gift for me besides this time and the ability to have a conversation between space, besides helping you boost your confidence and know that you are talking to somebody who lots of people would like to talk to? Do you have a gift for someone else? She says to Harry, she gives him the mother's hug that she's been wanting to give him for like 30 years. That she has loved him deeply and fiercely. And though he has felt alone, a lot of it, alone and isolated. And she sort of admonished me for not having read the book Spare, right? Like, I haven't read the book Spare. She's like, you don't really know my son if you haven't read the book Spare. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't really know your son. And she said, he is a brilliant boy who is passionate and loves deeply and fiercely and loyally. She is a little worried about him being led by his nose, if you will, by his wife. But she recognizes that this is all part of his learning. And her message for Wills is, my sweet boy, you're stepping into the king that she always saw you to be. Fair and gentle and compassionate. She knows how hard it is for you to get time with your family the way you would like to have time with your family. And it feels like more and more you're not getting time with your family and you're getting pulled away into matters of state. And so I feel like she's saying, don't forget the most important things, even if it looks hairy, even if the world looks messed up. Princess Di, do you have a gift for yourself? She says, I really love that blue sapphire ring, but I'm afraid that some of it might be like, she doesn't want to use the word curse, but it's got questionable intent. And so she loves that blue sapphire ring. And so the gift for her would be to clean the blue sapphire ring of any potential negative energies that it carries. And then, do you need peace? What can I do to bring you like ultimate peace? And I'm pretty sure you're in the light. You don't feel creepy. No, you're definitely in the light. Anything I can do to help you bring peace, help you like bring peace into your space. And she said, no, I feel like I'm having peace.